3, 2, 1.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Carlene plus Jamie. No, I'm Jamie. That's Carlene.
Right.
In case this is your first time watching. But yeah, so we are so glad that you came back and joined us once again at the same time, same place. Or maybe you're not watching us on Friday night. You're probably catching us during the week, Saturday, Sunday, whatever day it is. But we are just glad that you clicked on the play button and you are watching us right now. Mm-hmm. And we're always going to do this until you actually do it. And so please hit the subscribe button, the like button, the share button, and leave us a comment. We love reading them. We love engaging with you. And we love the feedback because it helps us create content that you want to view and that you can glean from. And so, Carlene, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Just really excited about this topic that we've been doing for the past 4 weeks. Like, legit, I feel like this is our pocket. At least for me, it feels like this is a nice groove that we can basically talk about for forever, if you ask me. But I'm just really liking this series that we've been doing about style, fashion, and soul.
Yes. Carlene enjoys this more. It's usually pulling teeth to get me to talk about my clothes, my outfits, where I shop. And I don't know if it's an insecurity or I just don't feel confident that I have enough style to be coaching or teaching anybody about how to do it. I think my style fits me. I can help, but I really think my style fits me. So, but we're going to take a stab at it.
I appreciate your taking a stab at it because I think otherwise of what it is that you just said.
Okay.
But that's probably for another time. We want to stay focused on what it is that we're going to talk about tonight. And one of the things that we're going to talk about essentially is a continuation from the conversation that we had last week about how our personal style influences us as it relates to as a couple. Does it make our style better? Does it make our marriage better, or does it make it worse? And so we're just going to continue the conversation. And one of the things that I kind of wanted for us to talk about first was, how do we experiment in regards to our style? And how does that experimenting affect our relationship, our dynamic? Do you think we experiment at all? Do you think we experiment too little, too much? Like, give me some thoughts about that.
I think you experiment a whole lot more than I do. I think I'm pretty straightforward. I'm pretty basic. I'm pretty routine. I'm not really venturing out and like trying new patterns and things like that. I think I play it more safe. I think you're more of the experimental, trying things differently. And I know at least one outfit that I can think about where you did something, you did something different. Yeah.
That I did something different in the outfit that I'm wearing.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
And the outfit that you wore.
That I wore.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. I give you that. Mm-hmm. I definitely, again, I find inspiration and I just kind of interpret that inspiration based off of how I feel, or how I want to feel, or how I want to look.
Right.
So I think it's important because maybe I can speak more into this because I do experiment more. And so I'm just thinking about, your reaction when I am experimenting. Is it more or less like a chill kind of response, or is it kind of like a what in the whole world are you wearing? And I would say for the most part, you I don't know, depending on exactly it is, but I think there have been varied reactions from you about sometimes if I wear something, you'd be like,
Right.
no, 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 go ahead and try again. And then sometimes sometimes you'll say, oh yeah, I like that. So I feel like your response to me experimenting varies.
Yeah, it does because sometimes I don't see where you're going with it. And so that's why I'm like, what are you doing? So I think, but for the most part, your experiments tend to work out in our favor. I wouldn't say just in your favor, but in our favor because we are together. We are going to whatever space or to wherever place together, and so it's not like you're walking in by yourself or you're walking in ahead of me. We're together at this wherever we go. So your experiments tend to work out.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank God. Um, how do you feel about, or what do you think about? Um, okay, let me put this out there. So, has there ever been a time where I made a style choice that you did not like? You don't necessarily have to say specifically, but is there like a time during our time together? Has there ever been a time where you did not, you weren't rocking with my style choice?
Yes, I think it was. I don't know if I wasn't rocking with it. I think I liked it. I think when I think about what you just said, I think about a particular dress that you wore, and that dress was it was showing a lot of your body. And I was thinking about, man, we're going to be out together, and I know men are going to be looking. And so I had to come to grips with that if men look, obviously they're not going to touch, but that they're admiring. And some are probably going to lust, but they're admiring the beautiful woman who is my wife that I'm walking with. So I don't think it was more so of a style choice or style experiment. I think it's just a more of a liberating thing that you had in you that you wanted to wear because you ordinarily wouldn't wear something like that. But there have been some experiments. I don't think there's been an experiment where I was just like, I don't like.
Maybe not
I
even
think I always tell you. I think nowadays. Matter of fact, let's go back.
Okay, we're going back, y'all.
Before we got married. And even before we got married, I told you. You remember one time we were going out on a date and you came downstairs from your house with some, I don't know what kind of shoes they were. They were some, I think you got them from the Gap. I think Gap had did a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
And I was like, nope, we ain't doing that. And I don't even think we weren't even like a year into our relationship because you were probably still at the Gap or something. I don't know. I know it was fresh, but I knew already that experiment wasn't gonna work. We wasn't going out with that experiment.
I like them sneakers. Those sneakers were super cool. And I think I got them super cheap at the Gap, right? Because I had my sale, my discount, but I also had I think they were on sale.
I wish if I can find a picture of those sneakers, I'll put them in this video so that you can see them. They look like Lego bricks. Like somebody.
Oh my gosh, Jamie, you are being so extreme right now.
Some kid put together. I did not like them one bit.
I like them sneakers. They were colorful. I just remember they were comfortable and colorful.
That's right. It looked like a Lego block and a Lego project. And I was so happy that you went upstairs.
I mean, you left me no choice. Essentially, your response was basically like, don't you dare show up, try to show up with me in them shoes. So I had to go quickly take them joints off.
But it just goes to show that even early in our relationship, you were experimenting and you were wearing different things. I think I experimented, but it was always with different brands. I don't think it was like the style.
No, it was a style. You remember the last style that you were experimenting? It was like the wide-legged, I don't know, with the pocket wallet. I don't know what style that was.
I was going double RL. That was definitely double RL vintage with the the wallet with the chain and the selvage jeans. Yeah, that was my workwear.
Workwear.
My
There it is.
workwear. My workwear era.
Yes.
Which this is kind of like workwear.
It is definitely workwear, but I definitely feel that the I don't like wide leg pants.
Yeah. Carlene does not. And I'm into wide leg pants right now.
So that is actually a part of our next, I guess our next subject or next part of this episode is like, what happens when your partner does not like what it is that you're wearing? How do you communicate that in a tactful, in a loving way? Especially when the money has been spent and the investment has been made. Like, how do you now go to your partner and say, hey, like, I'm not feeling what it is that you're wearing. I'm not feeling the look. So how do you, I'm asking myself this question.
Right. Yeah. Because you always do that to me.
I don't always do it. So in this particular era, this salvage jeans kind of look for you, I don't know. I just feel as though I just didn't like it. I wasn't feeling it as much as you were feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I tried my best to kind of think outside of the box and just allow you to experiment with this. I don't know what it is.
It's just straight fit jeans. That's what it is.
Yes. And so I did. I kind of quieted myself. I didn't say much.
I don't think you did. Because every time I've never worn them outside.
No, you've worn them before. You've worn a couple of your jeans.
I've never
the jeans the khaki salvage jeans khaki. I think you wore them yesterday or today to work. But essentially,
right. Those are not really wide though.
I mean, okay, but they're more wide than what you have on right now.
Right.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Like it's just something that I don't necessarily like.
Mm-hmm.
I feel as though like a wide leg pants like that will probably look better with it on someone that is taller. But because of your height, like I feel like more tailored look, and those were tailored, but more like a skinnier leg opposed to like a wide leg. I just don't necessarily like. However, every now and again, depending on what it is, I'll be like, all right, it looks cool.
I never wear them. I don't know why she's acting like I don't wear them.
I feel like you have worn them before outside the house.
Not worn them. No, because every time I put them on, you look at me and you're like, you do this. I don't really like how that looks.
Pray for me, y'all. I'm trying to work on I don't know.
Yeah.
With being able to express it, but understanding that this is something that he wants to do, right? Not he wants to do, because I'm not that girl where I'm like controlling what you wear, but I do know that Jamie holds me a lot to affirming him, right? I know that I know how important it is for me to affirm him. And so I try my best to be mindful of how it is that I approach certain style choices, because I know that fact.
Right. So Carlene likes tailored, slim.
Not tight,
but like this. This is not really me. I don't think I'd wear this in public.
But you chose this.
I know.
Didn't choose it.
I chose it because I know you would like it.
Huh.
Yeah, I wouldn't wear this shirt outside the house anymore. I haven't worn this shirt since before the pandemic. No,
you've worn that shirt outside of the house before.
Not since before the pandemic. A while before the pandemic.
Okay.
Yeah. And my wardrobe changes, or my style will change. And I just got into I thought I have these. I'm gonna wear them one day. I'm gonna style them. As a matter of fact, I think they're up on my Instagram page, The New Negro. But they're paint splattered wide leg jeans, selvage. I think they're pretty dope. And I think what I need to do though is there are times where you do this, and I think I need to do it as well. But I don't know if you do it often. That even when you don't like something, to trust myself
Yeah.
and to wear it still, rather than be like, all right, because and I think I told you in the past episode is that your words, your affirmation means a lot. So if you're like you don't like it, then I'm gonna automatically think that nobody else is gonna like it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think that from this episode, I'm going to encourage you to wear those pants only because you like them a lot.
I do like them.
You like them a lot. And I think, sometimes in marriage, like you really have to decrease in terms of like, I may not like it, but you like it. And it'll be okay if you wear it, or I can encourage you to wear it just because you like it.
Right.
And
wearing my jeans.
Yeah. So those jeans are coming to a
episode near you, or a place near you.
But I think this is a great example of how important it is to try to create that, that balance of, yes, sometimes you choose things to appease yourself. Sometimes you choose things to appease, your spouse. And I think it's okay sometimes not sometimes, more than sometimes, for you to just be like, yo, I'm gonna wear it anyway. Because I know I do that too. Because sometimes you'll be like, I don't like that. Or you'll be like, I'm not really feeling it. And I'm saying, and what in my brain, I say, I appreciate the fact that he said it, he does it. But I also know what I see in the mirror and what I feel, I'm just gonna rock with it.
Right. And then, I'm just one person. And other people may affirm it as well. And you just have to be okay with it at the end of the day. Like I remember when you wore your old coverall, and instead of putting on the whole coverall, you kind of tied it around your waist. And I would have probably preferred that you wore the whole coverall, but you tied it around your waist, and it turned out to be dope. It probably would not have been how I would have styled it on you, but that's how you wanted to style it. So, I rock with it. Yeah,
and I appreciate the rocking with it. And so I'm learning how to rock with it more. Let me just talk specifically with those jeans. I'm going to learn to rock with those jeans.
It's not just those jeans. There's those other khaki pants that I have.
No, but the khaki pants you wore yesterday, and I was just like...
No.
Oh, there's another one.
The ones that I wore to the Bahamas. I got them recut.
Yeah.
Those are another pair that she does not like whenever I put them on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the wide leg pants are just an era. I don't think it's going to stick around for a while, but we do see the trends in like menswear where the pants are wider, like wide leg. And one of the brands that I particularly think, man, they do an amazing job at just that whole wide, loose look is Stoffa, Stoffa. They really do it well. I wish I could style myself as well as they style it.
Yeah. I think, I don't have much to say, but yes, I do think that it is a trend, and who knows? I think what's the beauty of in clothes is that for the most part, you can take it to tailor and they can kind of cut it.
Oh yeah.
Make it straight.
Yeah. If somebody could sew it, most times the tailor can unsew it and resew it.
So we're in public and someone says to you, you okay with what she wore? Or you okay with what she's wearing? Right? What is your response to someone coming to you? And basically, how do you defend my style choice in public with others?
Man, that's a good question. No one's ever done that before, but I would say if somebody was to do that, I think I'll just have to be Absolutely, yes. I'm okay with it. She is her own person, and that's what she wanted to wear. I saw her before you saw her,
Mercy.
and I was okay with it. So if you got a problem with it, then that's something you have to deal with. But even thinking about that question about defending you, I know that, because we come from a faith background, a conservative faith background, and I was a pastor of a large church, well, of a few churches, and Carlene's dress has evolved. I think in every church, it's constantly evolved. To the last church that I pastored, where you pierced your ears, you were wearing jewelry, you weren't wearing the traditional first lady type outfits. And I know that no one ever came to me and said, look how she's dressing. You need to talk to your wife about how she dresses.
Well, I
But
need you to give context to that because some people may think that I'm out here dressing like
oh yeah, oh
okay,
yeah,
just give
yeah,
context to
yeah. It wasn't anything scandalous. It just wasn't. It just wasn't what our conservative church considered what a first lady should wear: suits, dresses, long dresses, and things like that. Carlene's style has always been, as our daughter Caitlin said, loud. Right? It when she walks into a room, she commands the room through her presence and her dress, and it's not the traditional way of dressing. But I knew that if anybody ever came and said something to me, I'll be ready to defend you and to be like, it shouldn't matter to you. If you're looking at her, you're not focused on the right things. She looks decent. Her breasts aren't popping out. Her butt cheeks aren't showing or anything like that. Is quite fine. So I think I will always, even too, if there's an outfit that I feel like you're wearing that I particularly have a problem with, if somebody comes to me and says that, I'm not gonna throw you under the bus and be like, yeah, you know what, man, I told her not to wear that. I don't know why she's wearing that, because I don't want to create any discord or dissension in our relationship and make people think that it's okay for people to question what you're wearing to me.
correct.
Yeah.
Because they're going to get nothing.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
And I think that's important for any couple, right? If someone approaches you and talks about your spouse's style choice, I think it is, and I mean, sometimes some people do it in jest, right? It's almost like, yo, you see what he's wearing? He's wearing some, I don't know, wide leg pants. Right?
Yeah, and then sometimes it's in jest and it's cool. It's like, yo, he's killing it, or yo, she is killing it. But when it's not in jest, when it's like something to create dissension, then it's problematic.
Yes, I agree. And for the most part, not for the most part, since Jamie and I have been together, he's always supported me in my style choices, whether good or bad, that you've always supported me, how I look, affirmed me, never made me feel less than or belittled in any way. Like you've always encouraged me to even wear what I want to wear, do what I want to do, even though sometimes I know with cultural norms, sometimes men control how women, what women wears, right? Like the man is like, no, I don't want my woman to wear that because it's my woman and I don't want nobody looking at them. Like you've never had that approach with me. And I appreciate that because I don't know, honestly, if you had that approach, if we would even be together.
Right.
Because that's just something I'm just like, I don't want to be silenced. And the one thing that I know that I enjoy doing, I'd never want to feel stifled or silenced.
Right.
So I appreciate that about you.
Well, thank
honey.
you. And vice versa as well. You've always affirmed me in my dress. You've always affirmed me when I'm wearing a suit. Actually, Carlene used to pick out all of my ties. You remember
Oh
that?
yeah.
When we used to go shopping together, she would choose what ties that she wanted me to wear. So you've always affirmed and confirmed my dress throughout the years. As long as we've known each other for over 20 years, that's how it's always been.
So we're kind of wrapping up, but before we wrap up, I think it's important for this is the part of the conversation that I was kind of delaying until this time. So because Jamie and I have we like clothes, we enjoy shopping. We're going to talk a little bit about budgeting for shopping and the vast difference between a budget for me versus you, and how we have managed to, I don't know, to not bicker or not go at it because of those things. So we're just gonna kind of talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll start with Carlene will buy, if we have $100, Carlene will buy 10 items or as many items as she can with that $100. I will buy one item with that $100. And then we started like talking about that, going back and forth, because you were like, why are you walking out with just one item for $100 while you're walking out with 10? And my explanation of that is I've bought 10 items before for $100, but those items don't last, particularly in menswear, that the menswear that I like. I would be okay with buying one item for $100 because I know what I'm buying is made well, it's gonna last long, and it's going to stand the test of time. Versus, I think how you would shop is that you would buy 10 items for $100. And I feel like those 10 items you're probably gonna wear maybe once or twice, and then it goes to the back of the closet.
No, that's not always true.
That's my opinion.
That is not always true. That is not always
that
true.
You're gonna have so many items, and that over time it's just gonna go. It's gonna fade away, and we don't see it anymore. It ends up in a bag that says to be given away.
Not all the time, for sure. I definitely think that women's wear or women's clothes, I can find more bargains, right, for a t-shirt or whatever it is than you can for men's. Like, I feel like men's clothing in general is much more expensive than women's clothing, especially the ones that's refined, right?
Yeah.
Like, I can find a quality shirt, a quality jacket for half the price, more than half. Less, like I can find a quality item far cheaper for me than you can for you.
I agree. But then you remember when we went to the tailor, you were able to see why a suit from a certain store costs so much versus a suit from another store, why it's so cheap.
Yes.
Because if you're just looking at, to people who know suits, they can look at it on the outside and they can tell, man, that's a cheap suit versus a well-made suit. To most people, they probably can't. But then when you saw the amount of layers that was in that suit, you were like, okay, this makes sense why you'd want to spend this much money on a suit versus when I used to buy my suits from a particular store, those suits probably lasted.
You can say the story.
When I used to buy my suits from Zara, and I thought I was hot. I remember one time I splurged on suits from Zara, and it was like on sale. Them suits probably lasted like 6 months. That was it, because they're not well made. They're not full canvas, and the trousers aren't made well, and they're quick, and so they fall apart. So that's why I'm like, does it make sense to spend all that money on 5 suits from Zara, or take all that money and buy one suit, one good Navy suit. So that's my shopping.
No, and trust me, I get it. I just I before we started dating, right? Officially, I remember you were always the one that would buy things full price. Full price was what it is that Jamie knew, right? He didn't know anything about sale. Or he probably did know, but he just refused to buy anything that was on sale.
I mean, I'd buy it, but I hardly saw stuff.
So essentially, when we met and we started dating, basically I was like, yo, we going to the back of the store. And I remember Jamie being like, what? But again, it takes patience. It takes lots of faith, to go to the back of the store and to kind of comb through the racks, because usually the back of the store is not the best part of the store. It doesn't look aesthetically, in some stores, it doesn't look aesthetically pleasing to the eye, but that's where you find the gems in the back of the store. And so when we started dating, that's when you started buying sale items and looking for sale items and stuff like that. But I just think that even now, for sure, my $100, with $100, I can get more quality pieces, versus you can probably just get one quality piece. And I think that's something that I had to wrap my head around budget-wise, because I'm just like, this is not making sense. Like, why are you spending $100 on this one thing? And you can look at other stores for more quality stuff, but just not costing $100.
Yeah, I look at it like, once you sit in first class, it's hard to go back to coach.
Does your budget say first class?
And once you drive a Mercedes, it's hard to go back to a Hyundai or something like that. So what I try to do, so that's the other thing too about my clothing items, is that I can resell them for almost what I paid for it. Mm-hmm. If it goes into like vintage, I could probably get exactly what I paid for it. So that's another thing about my wardrobe and my clothes, is that when I don't like something, I can sell my stuff, which will give me more money to buy what I really want. And I find that that's very easy in menswear. I find that even sometimes I'm buying stuff from other people that can fit me, because one thing about the menswear circle is that people who spend money on their clothes tend to take care of their clothes. Mm-hmm. And when they're done with it, they sell it because they either got too much or they want to get something else. So it's almost like thrifting, better than thrifting, because sometimes in thrifting, the items are not as pristine as they would be. So I'm very big on selling what I have, and I don't mind buying something that's pre-owned, as long as especially if I know the person, I know they're going to take care of it.
Yeah, that's certainly a huge difference between women's wear and menswear. But again, I do know that there are females out there doing the same thing. That's just not my thing.
Right.
I prefer to get it cheap, like new, at a discounted price, or like the ladies, when we did the show with Fashion Talk Tuesday, essentially she asked if I thrift, and I'm like, I would love to thrift. I just don't have the time to like seek out the best stores to be able to find those gems. My thrifting is TJ Maxx and Marshalls, which I absolutely love, because I'm telling you, the amount of gems that I've found. As a matter of fact, the dress I'm wearing right now is a dress that I found at TJ Maxx, just hanging there, just looking at me, saying, please come home with me. And so again, I just think that for us, I had to learn how to budget according to what Jamie just said about his things costing more. One item will cost like $10,000. Slight hyperbole.
Exaggeration.
But I do think that it's important for couples to know that it costs to look good.
Mm-hmm.
And you really have to budget accordingly.
Right.
Be very mindful about what it is that you're spending, how much you're spending on those pieces.
Right. Absolutely. And practicing restraint. Because, Lord, there's a whole lot of things that I would love to get, but I have to restrain myself because we have things called bills to pay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, absolutely. And, I think that it's okay. I think for men is probably, I think actually the pool of men that are paying more for their clothes or taking their clothes more seriously is beginning to broaden. And I don't know if that's because of social media, but I'm starting to see more of it. Because before it would usually be it's the wife that's spending all the money on the clothes, and it's the men that's just going to Big and Tall or to to Marshalls and just buying Tommy Bahama and stuff like that. But now men are seen to be venturing out and taking their clothes and things more seriously. But yeah, it's got to be a budget. It's got to be what works for you. It's got to be and very intentional. I think that's the other key. Like, I'm not buying pieces just to buy. I'm always thinking about, if I buy this one item, how can I wear this with what I already have? Or not buying it to buy more stuff to go with it. I'm just adding on to the pieces that's already in my closet.
Yeah.
So it's very intentional.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I have the same intention. When I shop. I don't necessarily have a rhyme or reason.
No, I don't think so. I think you just see something you like. And I think that's the difference though with how we shop. I think because my items that I buy are so much more expensive, I have to really think about, is it worth spending this much money for something that I don't have anything in my closet to wear?
Right.
Versus, I think you can buy like 10 whatever items and you can have them there and just build it on later on as you continue to go to different stores. Yeah.
So is there, if you were to do a dressing, styling, shopping 101, where would you suggest someone begin? A male? Where should they begin?
I think it's, I don't know. I think first I got to know like what their style is. So I would say like if they're trying to get into tailoring and wear suits and stuff like that, then I think a nice first stop is Suit Supply, because they have everything. They've kind of created a store where everything is right there, at a reasonable price point. But I think after that, you can graduate to better stuff. There's also this Italian company. They're not here in the States, but if they come to the States, it's going to mash up Suit Supply. It's called Natalino. And their stuff is much better made than Suit Supply and looks a lot better. But so I say, like, if a guy is like trying to just get his, basic men's tailoring wardrobe together, I think Suit Supply might be a good place to start learning and to start like figuring out how you want to be. And then we could talk about what's the next level up. Yeah. That's the beginner level.
Gotcha. Okay. Sounds good.
And for you, if a lady is looking at you and is like, yo, I want to start upgrading my closet, where would you recommend for them to start?
I think, again, I'm going to throw out those names again. Maybe I need to find some sort of sponsorship with TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and even Nordstrom Rack. But I think that, and someone made the point because I remember posting a video about this where I shop essentially for the most part. And they said that I frequent those stores. However, I am still not sure what to wear, what to buy. So yes, that can be very true. And so I think the first place to start is getting the basics, right? Getting the basics that every wardrobe, staples in the wardrobe that you know for sure are your go-tos. I know my go-to is a double-breasted blazer dress. It's a blazer dress, but I sometimes wear it as a blazer. Just getting staple items that you can build off of.
Right.
So getting a good blazer, getting a really nice pair of jeans, getting a button down, getting tanks, quality tanks. Also getting a nice, I would say, skirt. Skirts you can kind of play around with. I know bubble skirts are kind of sort of in, especially as we are nearing the summer months. A very nice pair of trousers, quality trousers, black or blue trousers that you can rock just about with any tee or any sweater or cardigan or whatever. I think those are just like really good basics to start out to look for. I know those places, not Target, excuse me, because we are in a Target fast still. But we going to Nordstrom Rack, they really have quality jeans for less, as well as Marshalls and TJ Maxx that fits you better than most. And you can, of course, go to the tailor and have them shorten it, have them cinch it at the waist. Whatever it is that you need, that you can find clothes in those places. So those are kind of like, that's like the first thing I would say is just getting the staples and then building off of those staples slowly but surely and finding inspiration on Instagram, Pinterest, and any of those sites to help you.
Yeah, for sure. And I would probably want to scratch Suit Supply, and I just want to emphasize Ralph Lauren. I think for men, especially the blue label Ralph Lauren, like Ralph Lauren has some great sales. They do have some great sales, and I think if you go online or if you wait until those sales, the thing with Ralph Lauren, it's going to be well made. It's a staple brand. It's been around for a while. And if you saw our first episode when we were talking about having a good tailor, man, Ralph Lauren and a tailor is perfect. You can still get a nice suit from Ralph Lauren, blue label that's on sale. That will look great. You could probably, if you're not trying to spend a lot on dress shirts, you could go pick up a dress shirt at Suit Supply, and you can do that. But I think when you start there, you're gonna have to start graduating, and you're gonna start having to look at different places. I don't shop in a lot of department stores. Most of my stuff is I read a website called Permanent Style, and I kind of look at what his reviews are, and then I kind of know where to buy certain things and certain pieces. And I'm not into like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Prada, Amiri, Rude, Palm Angels. What other thing is out there? Burberry. I don't really like wearing labels. I don't want to be a walking billboard, and I don't want people to know what I'm wearing. So, but that's just me. With those things, I think I have like one Gucci piece or two, and that's about it. But it's real subtle. But that's just me. I prefer not to have like a whole bunch of labels and logos on me, and I think that's more me being dressing age appropriate. And I just feel like I think you could probably have some monogram stuff, but that's just not my style.
Well, it sounds like the only monogram or the only stuff worth wearing for you would be Ralph Lauren polo.
Yeah.
With the brand labels on there. I think that will probably be the extreme.
Right. And that's like my streetwear stuff.
Yes.
And that'll be like a cardigan or a jacket or something like that. But my other jackets, when I'm going to church or when we're going out, those don't have any labels on it. But only somebody who's probably into tailoring, they can probably look at it and be like, oh, I know what he's wearing. That's a nice jacket. That's a nice fit.
Yeah. Oof. So much. But I think we're about to wrap this up. And man, it's always a pleasure talking to you about style. Our style is different, but one thing we know is that we enjoy seeing each other enjoy. I enjoy seeing each other love what naturally comes to us.
Right.
Which is putting outfits together, shopping. There's just something that we enjoy. I know that in this season, we're not doing it for sure as much. But I remember when we first got married, like we would dedicate a certain time of the year where we would just splurge, get whatever essentially we wanted. Of course, in its budget appropriate way. But, you know, like that is something that we always enjoyed to do in our pastime. What we want to do, go ahead and go shopping.
Right.
Shopping was something that we love doing, almost like some couples like, I don't know.
Vacationing.
Our vacation was shopping.
Right.
But to each his own. And of course, that season is a little bit different for us now. But we thoroughly enjoyed sharing a little bit of us and our story and how it relates to our personal style. And yes, we do for sure believe that our personal style makes our relationship better, because it's something that we've always vibed with. It's something that it's why I love Jamie. One of the reasons why I love Jamie. And so I enjoyed this.
I enjoyed it too. And I hope you enjoyed it as well. Like we say, subscribe, send us an email, carleneplusjamie@gmail.com. We don't mind yielding or taking some of your style questions. If you want help with an outfit or help with a look or for an occasion, we'll do the best we can. We are here to help, but we are so happy. I'm so happy that I'm with you and that we're together, and that style does make our relationship stronger.
Yes. This is your girl, Carlene.
And it's your boy, Jamie.
Peace.
Peace.